Today's Judgment Call is brought to you by Politics on Demand, The Effects of 24-Hour News on American Politics by Allison Dagnes, Political Science, Shippensburg University. Today on Judgment Call, we're going to be discussing media bias in government, and whether media has the influence to shape government, or if the government shapes media instead. And does the media have the power to push legislation? Let's find out. This is
Judgment Call.
In order to adequately answer these questions, I think we need to take a look at how media has evolved over the years. From 1774 until about 1950, our primary source of information from the media was through newspapers. This is what's known as the classic age of media. Until that point, the political parties owned most of the media. All of the newspapers were very biased, and they were very willing to share their bias with the world. From 1950 until 1970, television became a new source of media for the American public. But then Watergate happened. After Watergate, everything changed. People were very wary of government, and the media reflected this. The two reporters that exposed Watergate led a new revolution, a new boom in the media, if you will. Many people began going into media in hopes that they might be like those two reporters and uncover a great scandal within the government. This period lasted from about 1970 until the 1990s. In the 1990s, internet became a huge phenomena, and between the 1990s and now, it's known as the digital age of media. In 1983, the media was controlled by 50 different companies. Today, it's controlled by 6. These 6 companies are Viacom, Time Warner, CBS, Disney, News-Corp, and GE. These 6 companies together control over 90% of the media. With them controlling so much of the media, is it possible that they might be influencing your opinion? If you look at government today, there is very little compromise between the two political parties. The two political parties are even more polarized today than they were in the 1950s, and the media is directly to blame for this. How so, you might be asking? Well, let's take a look at some of the news stations. In politics today, there is definitely a bias in media, with Fox News being the only consistently conservative network, and all other major networks usually have a moderate to liberal slant. Because of this bias, anytime there's a news story, you only hear one side, their side. And as well as hearing the bias, there's also a bias in the stories they choose to present to you. They use their stories to push certain issues. Why do you think the civil rights movement was so successful? Or the anti-war protest for Vietnam? Or how the Tea Party is seen as such a huge threat? Yet Occupy Wall Street, which had far more supporters, was largely unrecognized by the media. If a candidate wants to get elected, they have to befriend the media to get good reviews. People respond to good and bad portrayal of candidates by the media, and the way that a candidate becomes successful in befriending the media is to push the same issues that are on the media's agenda. Does media have the power to influence government? I think we all know the answer. It's yes! This has been another
Judgment Call.